And we are live.
Here we are.
We are live. So, welcome, welcome. It, I never know if we're actually streaming because we have this software. It's called StreamYard. And what it allows us to do is go multiple places at once. So, we're on the YouTube channel, we're in the community, we're live on our Facebook page. So, if you can actually see us and hear us, put a comment in there. And by the way, if you're on Facebook, there's some instructions in the description, I guess you call it. So you have to go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard access to see your name so that when you ask a question, you actually see who it was.
Instead of Facebook user.
Right. Otherwise, it just says Facebook user, and then we have to
Um,
guess.
And we get to say, hey, Facebook user.
Right. Right. So this is the holiday. It's
It's
the
the-
holiday season.
Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Well, I do not know the lyrics after that. I know it's dee 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 dee.
The Santa Claus.
It's coming to
Coming.
town.
No.
Oh, that's the song I like.
Oh, it's Michael and Jocelyn. I think that's what that says.
Oh, they can see and hear us. So
Okay.
at least one person can,
Woohoo! All
or
right.
in this
Very
case,
good.
two people.
Put on my glasses so I can see.
I like these people. They're some of the nicest people I've ever talked to.
They
Actually,
really are.
and they're just awesome.
We,
So
we are grateful that we get to talk to people like you.
yes, so this is actually fun for us. We were just sitting out here discussing before we came on, and Wendy was like, "This is so fun. I love doing
I
lives.
do.
I love talking to people.
I enjoy doing this. This is fun for us.
Yeah. So this kind of falls along with our latest podcast. So if you're not following us on the podcast, go check that out. It's the Short Term Rental Authority podcast. You can find it. We've got lots of cats. Sorry.
Sorry.
We've got lots of cats. You can find us on wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple, iTunes. That's the same thing, isn't it? Castbox is the one I like to use. Pretty cool. And it's also on YouTube. There's a video version of it. And Wendy and I had our ugly Christmas sweaters on.
That's right.
Or I did.
You had yours on this past time, and I had mine on the time.
That's
before
right. And then Wendy made me wear a gnome hat.
that.
So if you like to see me in a gnome hat, which I'm sure nobody's rushing to go do that, go check it out on the YouTube channel.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
But this one is the holiday do's and don'ts.
The holiday do's and don'ts.
Right. So we thought that we would talk about decorating your unit.
Well, that's a question. So we get these kind of questions all the time, right? About holiday related stuff.
Right.
And, I want to say the holiday season is not just, we can tend to talk about like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah,
New
New
Year's.
Year's, that type of thing. But really, there are other holidays during the year too, right? There's July 4th if you're in the U.S. There's, Valentine's Day is a holiday. We've got a really good story about that holiday.
Yom Kippur.
Yeah, remember the guy that tried to have the event at
Yes.
Maywood that time?
You mean the transvestite orgy?
Yeah, I do. I just didn't want to say those words together.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes, now that you've said it, that was a Valentine thing that happened. But most people are probably thinking Christmas, New Year's, that kind of thing. So you brought it up, Christmas decorations. That's something that happens. Like, do you decorate your units for the holidays? Do you decorate? Do you put a Christmas tree in? Do you put lights up? Do you mistletoe maybe? Like maybe we can do mistletoe as a special request. So we've been thinking of additional things we can sell, inside the unit. Maybe the mistletoe package.
The mistletoe package.
The mistletoe package, right? Maybe that's an idea. But our general advice has been,
no, we don't, because not everybody celebrates Christmas. But it is something that you could possibly upsell. So that is a really great way to make a little extra money during the holidays. So it's something that you could offer. You could offer different types of packages. So, if somebody asks, do you decorate for Christmas? You could say no, but if you are interested, we'd be glad to do that for you for this price, right? And then we also get asked, would you mind if we decorate for Christmas?
Yeah, that does come through. People, because they're coming in for the holidays, especially at our places in Charlotte, because they're houses. So a lot of times during holidays like that, people will either be housing their family that's coming in. We've got one of those this year, or they're actually doing the holidays because maybe they live in a 1-bedroom apartment or something, and they've got family coming in, and they want to go cook and have people over, and they want it decorated. So they'll ask that, and generally we're fine with it as long as you clean it up, afterwards, type thing. So there's that, like kind of the holiday decoration thing. We don't proactively do it, but we will do it by request. And to Wendy's point, I think that's a really good idea. If we not only just wait for people to ask, but actually have that as a, hey, if you would like this, we noticed you're staying over Christmas. Would you like this, that, and the other type thing? So I think that's a great idea for any holiday.
I think you'd have to go price it first. If I were going to do that, I would need to go price out how much it would cost me to actually set that up and what exactly that would entail. So, because I don't know if you've ever gotten a live Christmas tree. Man, them things are expensive.
Yeah, they've gotten more expensive.
It was like we got one last year. It was almost $100.
Yeah, for something you're gonna throw away.
Yeah.
But I guess it takes a long time to grow it or whatever. But still,
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So if I was going to offer that service, I did think about that. By the way, I was thinking, maybe we have like a live tree option and a fake tree option type thing or something like that.
That would be something that might be a good investment, is to buy a fake tree.
Yeah, and then it's something you can reuse and just pull out and rent, basically. Right. So
all those decorations.
Yeah, and that's a little
closet.
That's a little more of a broader topic too. Of we think about our revenue in terms of nightly rate, but that's not the only thing you can sell, right? I mean, the easiest thing to do is early and late checkout,
and you can automate that.
Right? There's no inventory required or anything like that. So, for example, this maybe a little off topic, but I think you might want to hear it. One of the things we do is offer everybody early check-in if the day before they're coming isn't booked already. And the reason for that is we can sell it to them, and then we simply just block the previous night off. And that's the end of it. Don't have to tell the cleaners, don't have to, get anybody out of there early, don't have to worry about it. We just basically sold the previous night. So it's kind of like saying, hey, would you like an extra night, without saying, would you like an extra night?
Right.
It's, would you like a really early check-in? Right.
And we have levels too. So we've got if you want to check in at 2 p.m. or later, it's this price. If you want to check in at 12 p.m. or later, it's a little bit more. But if you want to check in at 9 a.m. or later, then it's a lot more.
Yeah,
because you're basically selling that night.
If they come at 9 in the morning, you basically can't sell the previous night because checkout's at 11, right? So that's overlapping. And then the next question is always, well, what do you charge for that? Well, that's regional. It depends on what your actual nightly rate is.
Right.
And so that's something you got to consider is what is my nightly rate at this place? And that'll give you a benchmark for what that 9 o'clock should be.
Sure.
For sure. Because you're definitely blocking off the night for that. And then the other two end up just being discounts off that rate, off of a day that you might not have sold anyway. And it's kind of a bird in the hand situation. I'd rather have the bird than hope somebody else comes along and books it, right?
Right.
So there's that. But I think we got on that discussion because we were talking about maybe Christmas decorations or something we can sell seasonally.
Yep.
Maybe there's a Valentine's package, right? Maybe there's a Thanksgiving package even, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where you do something. So there's all these opportunities for revenue around, especially holidays, because people are spending money anyway.
I was thinking about doing something like where you stock the fridge for people, especially if they're coming from far away and they're driving and they have children and they're going to get in in the middle of the night, and wouldn't it be great if they had, I don't know, like a couple of things to eat for breakfast and maybe some things to eat for lunch?
Yeah, so we know some people that do that. They have
Yeah.
like a breakfast package, a snack package,
Right.
a lunch package, or
Mhm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a prearranged. Hey, here's what you get. You get 12 eggs and whatever, but that's almost a year-round thing
Mm-hmm. Yep.
that you could do.
Yep, for sure.
But holiday specific, I'm thinking, okay, well, what if we had like a Christmas ham package or something?
Ooh,
Um,
that's cool.
And then what I'm always looking for is somebody else that actually provides that service that then I can go mark up. So like, for example, we've done that before where we pick up a
Right.
ham from the ham company, or what's that called?
The Honey Baked Ham.
Honey Baked Ham Company, right? And they've got all the fixings. Does everybody say fixings, or is it
I
just?
think that's just a Southern
Is that
thing.
just a Southern thing? I
Yeah.
don't know. But all the other stuff that
the
goes
sides.
with it.
Right.
And for the convenience of, hey, we'll bring it to you and it's delivered in the unit, people will pay for that.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a 20, 30, 40% markup. So there's all sorts of things that you can generate revenue on, especially around the holidays, that aren't necessarily nightly rate. So there's that.
I can't think of anything else right now.
No, but let your imagination run wild,
Mhm.
right? Like there's going to be all sorts of things. If you've got ideas, put them in the comments,
Yeah,
because
totally.
we might use them, and
Yeah,
other people would like to see it too.
I wonder
There's a cattail.
if, and I would be curious to see if anyone has actually ever asked their guest, would you, if these things were
Available?
offered to you, would you choose them? I'd be curious to know. Maybe we could.
Yeah, and I want to say that's almost a different topic of like exit surveys. Like, are you
that's
just
interesting.
waiting for reviews to come, or are you?
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Ralph. So Ralph said, love that hoodie.
Yes, my friend Ralph.
Yeah. So if you don't know our friend Ralph Scales the second, as he's known on Facebook, he has a clothing brand. It's called Invest, spelled just like you see it there. And they have all sorts of really cool gear. Like if you're into mindset and real estate investing,
I had to get the gratitude one because
yeah, being financially free and all that, like you're gonna love their stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah, Invest brand. So I'll put it right here.
Invest brand. Oh, good.
Free
good.
plug.
Hey,
Investbrand.com. Go check that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of
great stuff like this.
And it's good quality too.
It really is. It really is. I think I've had this hoodie for over a year now, and I can't tell you how many times I've washed it. I turned it inside out to wash it, right? So that it stays nice and crisp looking, but it's really, really good quality. It's got the little Invest brand right here, and it's really comfortable. I wear it all the time.
Yeah. And you get comments on it. So it's a great conversation starter because it doesn't just, I like how it doesn't just spell it out.
Yeah.
But it's almost like what's on a license plate. Like you can tell what it says.
Yeah.
Right. But, or here's even a, got the www on there. So there's that too. So yeah, go check them out. Free plug to Ralph. He's pretty awesome. He's a short-term rental operator and real estate investor in the Wilmington area,
North Carolina.
Yes.
That's down by the beach.
Down by the beach.
Close to the beach, closer to the beach than we are.
Yeah, that makes it sound like it's Jamaican though.
But anyway, so we were talking about decorating for the holidays. Do you decorate, and some ideas that we had around that, and we also thought that it would be we also get a lot of questions about what do you do about pricing during the holidays. We get that question a lot. Do you up your prices and that kind of thing? But we use the pricing tool Price Labs, and Price Labs actually will do that for you. And I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that.
Right, because I'm the guy that does pricing.
Well, you're the pricing.
So, Yes.
I do the decorating.
So Price Labs is a tool. There's other tools. There's Wheelhouse. There's Beyond Pricing. There's ones you've never heard of, right? But they all kind of do a similar thing. And the keyword you're looking for is dynamic pricing, meaning instead of saying, "Hey, my place is $100 during the week and it's $200 on the weekend, and that's the extent of my pricing," this thing actually prices each day for the next 12 months. So it does a year in advance from today, every day. And it recalculates and says, okay, what's the demand for this specific day in this specific area? And other factors, seasonality. Is there an event? It's going to pick up a holiday because it's going to sense demand, and it knows, well, Christmas is always on the 25th of December. It's doing those things for you, and the tools are very good at capturing the high end. In other words, they're good at capturing, they're good at raising prices. The tool's not as good at lowering prices, right? And that's one of the things that I think is actually more important because, well, unless you're doing a really, really bad job, you're going to get booked for the holiday. Like, that's easy. Like, Christmas is easy. Christmas Eve is easy. What do you do with the rest of December? Right. And now that I'm getting prices, at least probably for that week is what I try to do, at least 4 days around that holiday. So that's another thing I'm doing with that Price Labs tool. It's not only nightly price, but it's also availability. So here are some tweaks that I will go do manually. Is I'll go make sure that, hey, one, you can't check out on the holiday like Christmas. Two, you can't just book Christmas. You have to book 2 or 3 days around it, right? Because what I'm trying to do is, because at least in our area, and I want to feel like it's this way in a big part of the country. If you're in the U.S., it's this way, with exceptions. But for most of us, it's a slower season, meaning December is a slower month. And one of the ways we make up for that lack of occupancy and revenue that especially happens at the beginning of the month is we have those higher end days. But if all you do is sell the higher end days, then you lose all that profit to the vacancy in the rest of the month. So yes, do we raise prices? Yes. Do I manually go in and up those prices further? Yes. Further out, meaning in October, I'll go raise Christmas prices and put those 4-day minimums on because I've got time. I've got time to sell it. And if it doesn't sell, then I can always back that down a little bit until I get a sale.
And it's those farther out dates are usually more expensive too, aren't they?
Yeah, in general, the pricing tool is going to price today at cost, and it's going to price the future at as high as it can go, right. Basically, as high as it can get. It thinks it can get. But as those days get closer, it will start discounting. So it's always in your best, advantage to book it sooner rather than later, just because the price will be higher, right? And that's true for any dates, not just holidays. But I'm more concerned with not how much I can get. I'm more concerned with, in the revenue management side of it, how low can I go? Mm-hmm. And it's looking at not only the unit itself, but the portfolio. This is where, when you start having multiples, you can start saying, okay, what's my revenue goal for the company? Yeah, we've got 15 units and one may not be doing well, but the others have made up for it. Now I can sell that unit cheap because what I'm really doing is defending the profit I've already made elsewhere. And same principle, even if I only had the one, if I'm going to make, $1,000, for example, over those 4 days, and normally that would be a $500 booking for me, that means I'm now going to go to defend that extra $500 of profit by making sure the rest of the calendar is actually filled, even if it's at cost, because I've already made my revenue. Right. So being very cognizant of what your actual minimums are. And here's a good rule of thumb for you, because a lot of you own the real estate and you start your calculations at, well, my mortgage is and my insurance is, and that's where the expenses stop. You're trying to calculate it like it's a long-term rental, and it's not. And let me contradict myself and say it is a long-term rental. So even if you're operating as a short-term rental, realize that part of the expense of doing that is the opportunity cost of not renting it long-term. So if you've got a place that rents for market rent is $2,000 and your mortgage is $1,500, your expenses on the short-term rental should start at $2,000 because that's what you're giving up. The short-term rental business isn't extra rent. It's a whole different business, and they better both be able to survive on their own. Meaning the real estate business ought to make money, the short-term rental business ought to make money.
And they should be two separate
And
businesses.
they should be two separate businesses, even if
Entirely.
for whatever reason you don't have them on paper that way. In your mind, they should be, because otherwise you'll trick yourself into thinking, "Oh, I'm making money," and I'm not.
Right.
I've either got
I
poor,
did a bad real estate.
either I did a
deal
bad real estate deal, or
or
I've got a
short-term.
business that's not doing well.
Yeah.
Right. And you need to separate those out.
Right.
So I would encourage you to start cost at whatever market rent is, because that's what it's costing you, not to have it out there as a long-term rental. And then everything else that's encompassed in that is your mortgage, and that long-term rent should be covering that stuff. And then short-term rental business expenses should start at market rent. So take whatever market rent is. And this is just a rule of thumb. It's come from talking to, our own business, our own experience, and talking to people all over the country. This general rule tends to work in general. And caveat, I haven't really worked with a lot of people that have 15-room mansions. So maybe the math doesn't work for a 15-room mansion. I don't know. But I do know it works for a studio apartment all the way up to at least a 5-bedroom house. And it's to take market rent and multiply by 1.3. And
because fixed expenses.
Yes. And those are your fixed expenses for the month as an estimate. If you've got real numbers, use real numbers, but that should be the estimate. And then divide that by expected occupancy. We always shoot for 85%. So that's 25.5, because 25.5 is 85% of 30 days. And that should tell you, what does a day cost you? And that should be your minimum. And for a lot of you, you're going to look at that number and you're going to be like, well, that's way too low. I would never rent my place for that. And you're the one sitting there with occupancy low in the beginning of December. And you're like, but I sold Christmas and you broke even for December, right? Because you didn't calculate how low you could go. You didn't defend your profit. So I think that's really important as a pricing thing. I know it went beyond just holiday pricing, but it all goes together, especially this time of year. And realize that those holidays, while yes, that profit is good on those days, you need to defend it. You need to defend the rest of the month so that you actually end up with the profit you're looking for.
Right. And knowing how low you can go is going to help you defend that profit. Right. So if you know that, we've already made your money for whatever month you're in, then
you can almost give away the rest of the day.
Exactly. I mean, why not go that low? If it's not sold, if tomorrow's not sold,
you might as well sell it at cost.
Might as well sell. I mean, I'd rather have something rather than nothing.
Yeah, because every day costs you something.
Yeah, it does. That's how much it's costing you to have it.
Right.
So, I mean, I'd rather have something than nothing.
That was probably a lot more than, and that's true every month, by the way, not just holiday months, but especially.
But no, that's good info though.
It just tends to be that for most markets, ours included, well, Christmas comes in a down month.
Yeah, December, and then
New Year's comes in a down. January's our worst month.
January sucks.
It's our worst month.
It's a struggle. January is a struggle, but if you already know that, and then you can prepare yourself for it.
Right. And it's the same thing. It's just looking at it, instead of looking at it as days, I'm looking at it as months. Right. I'm going to say, okay, I made my money the last 11 months. Now I need to defend it, because January could screw the whole thing up.
Yeah, totally.
Like I can't just let January go. Right. So maybe I sell January at cost.
Right.
Right. And what I'm really doing is defending the profit I made all year.
Right.
So just important, maybe it gets you, thinking a little bit different way about how to do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well,
So that's pricing and holiday, and I think I covered.
So the other thing that
Minimum
we wanted
stays,
to
yeah.
talk about was making sure that your the people that work for you don't have to work on those holidays too.
Yeah, I did mention that, but go for it.
So, well,
Because I
that
kind of went right past it, but that's super important.
yeah, it is, because that's something that we definitely don't want to have happen. So you can make it so that no one can check out, because we always clean on checkouts,
Right.
on checkout days. So you can actually make it so nobody can check out on a holiday. And so did we ever determine, is it New Year's Eve or New Year's Day that's the holiday?
I don't know, but I do it for both of those days. So we don't
Okay.
allow checkouts on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. And that's one of those things we do. We're getting towards the end of the year here. That's one of those things we do at the beginning of the year, as we
Right.
go through all the holidays. And Wendy's perspective is more like, well, I don't want them to have to work. And,
Right.
it's a very emotional thing.
Well, that's
for her.
because I'm in charge of personnel. And
Right.
I'm in charge of training and making sure everybody's happy, right? The people, we try to keep the people that work for us happy.
Right. But I
And that's my
want to,
job.
I tend to be a little more practical about it. So what I would say is go to your cleaners, for example, their vendor, and ask them, what holidays do you guys not work? And if they say every Sunday, it's not your cleaner.
That's
right?
one of the things that I actually ask them before I even hire them.
Yes. So we need to know that, because for them, maybe it's New Year's Eve, maybe it's New Year's Day, maybe they are a Jewish company and they don't take Christmas off. Like, don't make the assumption,
Right.
Ask,
Mhm.
right?
Sure.
And find out what are their holidays. And then at the beginning of every year, what we do is we go make sure that, hey, you can't check out on those days, whatever they are. Could be July 4th. It's going to be Christmas, probably New Year's Eve, maybe Christmas Eve, maybe, depending on what it is. Thanksgiving, whatever holidays they're not going to work, or you just don't want people to work. Maybe you want the office to be closed that day and not have to be doing turnovers, So that's something we do every year. I don't know of a good way of doing it except for on the platform itself, which is probably a more in-depth discussion and technical than you want to know. But just know that you can do this on the platform. And what I do want to emphasize is that it's not go mark Christmas Day as a 3-night minimum, because that doesn't prevent the checkout on Christmas Day. It just means if they book Christmas Day, they got to book 2 others.
Right. So that doesn't do what you think it's going to do.
It doesn't do what you think it's going to do. So they could book the week prior and check out to Christmas, and they've met the 3-night minimum, right? But it didn't really do what you wanted it to do.
Right.
So know that that's something you actually need to go do on the platform. If you want a hint on Airbnb, it's in the rules. What are they called?
Policies and rules.
No, it's not in policies and rules. You have to do it on the calendar.
Oh,
And
I know how to do it on Verbo, which is weird.
How do you know how to do something?
I don't
on Verbo?
know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, it's the same thing,
It's weird.
but they're rules. They're basically rules, and what it says is not you can't check it on the 25th, but it says you can't check it on Sunday.
And then you make it.
And then we apply that rule to, well, this year Christmas is on Sunday.
Right.
It just so happens New Year's is too.
Right.
So that's
and
the
in
way to do it.
Verbo, you have to go to the calendar.
Well, you do an
and
Airbnb too.
Up at the top, it's under settings, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. But anyway, you can do it on both platforms.
Yeah.
Or
But you
the
have to do it
major
on
ones.
platform. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
But that's all we had.
Yeah, that was kind of short. There's 5 or
Holiday
6 people in here. If you
so we'll open it up for questions.
if
now.
you got questions,
If you want to know
please ask
about
them.
my lovely leggings,
Lovely leggings. She's got
my
Christmas leggings.
fabulous hoodie.
Right. If you want the hoodie again, I'm just gonna
check
plug.
out
I'm gonna plug Invest Brand again.
Invest Brand. Makes great Christmas presents.
Yes.
Great Christmas present, and it's got the pouch right here, which I really like because my hands get cold.
Is there still time to order for Christmas, Ralph? Or what's the timeline on this thing?
It's great. This thing's great. I think this is actually an extra large.
I have no comment.
But Good.
I
Prefer you to have
almost said something, but I've been married for a long time. And I know when to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, because you get punched in the taint.
Yep, he said, yeah, order away.
Okay, super.
So it's available.
Awesome.
We need to get you we need a sponsorship for this, Ralph. What are you paying us, buddy? Need some royalties or something. Have to get you a special link, maybe an affiliate link. Or
An
something.
affiliate link. That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
I'm just kidding. I'm just supporting my buddy.
Right, totally. It's a great guy.
And it's good stuff.
Oh, we have a question. I can't read it because I can't wear my glasses. Oh, good. That's better.
Do you guys think becoming accredited by the Better Business Bureau, which is what that is beneficial for a new business?
I don't think I've ever thought about that before.
Personally,
Mm.
I don't think so. I don't think people actually. I think the vast majority of people never go there, but it's possible. I mean,
it can't hurt.
It
right?
can't hurt. Let's put it that way.
It can't hurt. I mean, it can't hurt you. I mean, is it intensive? I mean, what do you have to do?
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'd be curious.
I've never looked into it.
I've never looked into it either. I've never even thought about that.
But I could say I've never heard. Well, I shouldn't say never, but I want to say, I don't know. Do you go check the Better Business Bureau website before you buy something, or do you just go there to complain about somebody that's done something to you? Right. So it's almost like a complaint department more than anything else. And I don't know if I want to open up the complaint department. Right. So there's that.
But I don't know, maybe.
But I don't trust the Better Business Bureau anyway, because the companies pay to be there.
Oh, you have to pay to be on it.
You do, but if you want to become accredited, there's a fee. I'm pretty sure.
No kidding.
And then I'm kind of like, well, who's the Better Business Bureau's customer really? Like, is it the
interesting
companies or is it the consumer? You know what I mean? So
you have to pay.
I don't know. That's just my off the cuff thought about it, but it can't hurt. Like when he said, I don't think it's going to hurt you.
I don't think so either.
Necessarily.
Why not?
But I've never tried to do it or looked into doing it or anything like that. In fact, the only time I've ever been to that website is when somebody screwed me over,
right.
And then somebody else posted a link and said, "Hey, go post about them on the Better Business Bureau," right? Like they can really do anything. They have no teeth, But
there's no telling.
But good question. I think it's an interesting question. Have you looked into it? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to know
what's the desired outcome. I'm curious.
Right. I want to know, why do you ask? That's interesting. Why do you ask?
Yes.
Right.
Why do you ask?
Mm-hmm. I'm curious.
Well, Michael and Jocelyn have all sorts of good ideas, so
okay.
I'd be curious to see what they've done since we've last talked. Actually, they've always got something in the works.
Like it.
Yes.
Like it.
In fact, they're probably better at that kind of thing than me, because I'm more of a, hey, it works, leave it alone. And they're like, how can we make it better? Right.
Well,
Oh, they said we have and are trying to appeal to a broader audience. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say, if that's something that the audience you're trying to appeal to values, then yeah, go for it.
Sure. Definitely.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you would know that because they're your clients, right? Or potential customers.
Do they have houses or apartments?
Don't remember.
Just curious. I mean, if you're trying to appeal to a broader audience, then...
Well, they may be, I don't know what the question means, but they could be saying, hey, we're trying to go for government contracts. Or, hey, we're trying to get corporate housing and to that customer. So they may not be talking about just individuals, right? Or maybe they're wanting to put it on their website so that they...
Apartments for now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but it's an idea. I don't think it can hurt you.
Yeah, why not?
May not help either, but it can't hurt.
Well, everything helps. Nothing doesn't.
True, but some things are worth your time and some things aren't.
Yeah, that's true. So
Right.
true. Right.
Like it's almost like, well, is it beneficial to be on every platform in the world?
Well, that's kind of where my mind went
Marginally.
was if you're trying to appeal to a broader audience, that's very general, right? So what kind of audience are you trying to appeal to? Let's narrow it down here, because there are other platforms out there besides Airbnb and Vrbo, right? So
Well, you got your direct booking website, right?
well,
You've
so
got
what kind of, are
your
you looking to
Facebook
get,
presence, your
right?
hopefully you got an Instagram presence, your all your socials, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Like being able to say that you have that badge could be
oh,
credibility, maybe.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
I just personally discount it because I see it and I don't think it's. I'm just like, all right, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, they paid a fee and they've got a badge.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like nobody's complained.
Right. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. But are you trying to attract military families? Do you have a military base? There's platforms for that. I mean, travel nurses, there's Travelers Haven and all those places. So ALE Solutions is a great place to go, but
yeah, but they don't care about that.
But you can put your places on the ALE Solutions website, and you're in their database, but you also need to reach out to them and say, hey, and here we are, and make yourself known, because otherwise you're just another place in their database.
Right. I want to say stuff like that's probably more important than, hey, I've got a credential, I've got
I think so too.
anything.
Building that relationship with companies like ALE Solutions and all those other ALE type companies, and those military bases and hospitals, and realtors are a great way, a great person to talk to. They're definitely some doorkeepers. So I would go that route before I would do anything with the BBB.
Right. Corporate company employees. All right.
Oh, got it. Okay. So, so that's people booking for somebody else because their employees are coming into town.
Yeah, that's what I took that
So why not go directly to the companies?
Right. Like it's going to be more about what your product is, I think, and does it meet the needs and all these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But it can't hurt.
Yeah, totally.
Back
in the 70s,
Bill's got some.
They may have been relevant. I don't know that they really relevant anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, who are they serving?
Right.
That's a really good question.
That's a great question. Well, we have similar inputs, similar outputs, right?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Very good question. So, yeah, I think your time would be better spent establishing those relationships with those corporations that are around your unit.
But it can't hurt. I don't see a real downside to it other than
either, right? But
hey, if it's like $1,000, then I'm probably never going to see that again.
Yeah.
But okay.
Probably not. We shall see. What about BNI? Have you ever?
That's more of a networking group.
I know, and it costs money too.
Right, but it's not an accreditation.
No, it's not. But I'm just thinking that, if you're going to spend $1,000.
Oh, like maybe there's a better place.
Maybe
I don't know that it's $1,000. I just made that up.
I don't know.
I
don't know how much.
$10, go do it.
I don't know how much BNI costs, but
no, I was talking about the Better Business Bureau thing.
I don't know. I don't know how much the Better Business Bureau costs either. But if I were going to go spend some money on something, I'm probably going to go become a member of of a BNI chapter somewhere, and that way I can at least get to network with some people.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a nice certification sitting on my bookcase over here that says I have a bachelor's of science in business administration with information technology, but nobody cares about that. They care like, do you really know how to code or not? Right.
Right.
Like the first job, it mattered, but there was no relationship there. Like once I have a relationship and I can say, hey, here's somebody I've worked for, and they say, yeah, this guy can do what he says he can do, then, well, the certification kind of doesn't matter anymore, right?
But it did get your foot in the door.
But it got my foot in the door.
Mhm.
So that there was something to it, right? But does it matter now? Probably not, unless it's just like a box they have to check, tick,
That's interesting.
or something like that.
Doing something weird back here. I'm not sure what it is.
What's BNI? BNI stands for Business Networking International. And it is they have chapters all over the place. And the idea is that within any one chapter, there's only one person in that group from each industry. So if there's a realtor in that group, there can only be one. If there's a person that has a laundromat in that group, there can only be one. If there's a short-term rental operator, I bet most of your BNI chapters don't have one.
Probably not.
So you can probably join that chapter. But the idea is that you feed referrals to each other. Or if say, hey, you're like, hey, I need
a plumber or something.
Yeah, or I need a contact at Bank of America. Who do you know?
Or
CPA. I happen to know the vice president of whatever. Let me give you an introduction, right? That's the value of that type of network. Have I done it? No. Has it been recommended to me to do? Yes. The reason I haven't done it is because it's a commitment. So you're required to come to the weekly meetings, even if they're on Zoom type thing.
And they are usually, so I've learned, because a lot of people that we coach are in BNI chapters.
Yeah, well, that was a COVID thing.
Yeah.
They started doing Zoom during COVID. So I don't know if they're going back to in person.
As far as I know, at least from what I've heard from my students, is that they're still just doing it all on Zoom.
Right. But what part of the country are they in? Because that could answer part of that question too.
Indiana.
Oh, okay. Okay. Excellent. Hey, no worries. No worries. It's Ryan Hansen.
Mr. Hansen.
Before Giggle.
Before Giggle.
Giggle. We should make a competing product called Giggle.
There you go, Ryan.
Can we compete with Google? I don't know if we can. Probably not. Probably not. But maybe when you search, it only brings back good things that make you giggle.
There you go.
So it filters out all the negativity.
I like it.
You search for hamburgers, you get dancing hamburgers.
Nice.
Right? Or you search for news of the day and you get a story about puppies. I don't know. Something good. There might be a niche for that. Who knows?
Goats in pajamas.
Goats in pajamas. Yeah.
That's what Facebook was invented for. That and cat videos.
Yeah, I was going to say cat videos.
Cat videos and goats in pajamas.
Yes.
My favorite. Oh, Facebook user.
Hello, Facebook user.
Hello, Facebook user.
So there's if you don't know that you have to go to streamyard.com/Facebook and then give Facebook permission to see your name. Otherwise, to us, it just says Facebook user.
Yes.
Because of software use. But yeah, no worries.
Hi.
No worries.
Glad you're here.
Goats in pajamas jumping on trampolines.
Jumping on, see.
So this is a thing?
It is a thing. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm going to go giggle that.
You go giggle it. Go giggle it. You should giggle it. Any other questions?
Anything last minute?
Last minute questions?
Usually try to go about an hour because, it is 7 o'clock. It's almost 8 o'clock.
It's almost 8 o'clock here. I got to go dope up the girl so she'll go to bed tonight.
Yeah. Well, she has been sick.
Don't tell her.
I think she heard you say that. Well, your secret's out.
Darn it.
She has been sick, so we have a pretense for giving her
Yes.
medicine that makes her go to bed.
Yeah.
Yes. Nap time. That's another. Ryan says nap time. If you run a really funny video, I think it's a Saturday Night Live skit. Thanks, nap time.
Thanks, nap time.
Yeah. So, go check that out on Giggle.
There you go.
We just started a new social media platform, Giggle.
I love it. I think it's great. There you go, Ryan. There's your $1 million idea. Go
He's
run
full
with
of
it.
them. Ryan is one of those
He
people that
is.
just knows
Yes.
random things. He should
Yes.
go on Jeopardy.
Yes. Ooh, you should go on Jeopardy.
Yes, or maybe $100,000 pyramid, something like that.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, last question.
Oh, okay. Good.
Can we have your email? You know, that's a really good idea. I should get people my email.
Yes, it is. We should definitely be doing that.
Yeah, we should be doing that. So what is our email? I would email us at
John and Wendy, I think is
we have a couple. So the one we're supposed to give you is support@shorttermrentalauthority.com.
there you go. That's the one.
That would be the email.
Can you type it in there and make it show up, or
I can, sure.
how's that?
Yeah, so there's this banner thing, and I
Make
can
that
say create a
technology
banner,
stuff work.
and I can say
Yeah. John's gonna make that technology stuff work for you. Good question.
but I can't spell. So you've asked me to do something on the fly live, and I cannot spell or type.
Let me do it.
Okay.
Could have been done by now. So I just can't see it.
So you've got the typing skill, and I have the eyes. I'm sorry.
Did I do it right?
I think so.
Does that look right?
Close enough.
Okay.
And then you just say add, and then you can click this little button, and it'll just pop up like that.
Short-term rental. I think I spelled that right. Short-term rental
Authority.com.
authority.com.
You can email us there, or
There you go.
you can email us at John and A-N-D, Wendy, W-I-N-D-E, at thecashflowcouple.com. We'll get those emails too.
Yeah. Well,
Either one. Or you can just DM us. That's always fun.
there you go. You can do that too. We're everywhere.
Okay. I'm reading comments.
That's funny.
Yes. That's something to look up on Giggle.
Great. Well, it's not
Something to look up on Giggle.
That's funny.
So yeah, absolutely. And you can always DM us, by the way. You can DM us
Yes.
through the either the Facebook page, the Facebook group for sure. You can find us on Instagram as well. You can DM us there. It all goes to the same place. So
We're everywhere.
and if you're looking for coaching, because we've been doing a lot of this lately, especially this time of year, there's a little banner for that. And you can just text us. You can text that number 980-888-8541. Text the word coaching if you're looking for it, and it will get you in the system. And it's a little automated thing that will ask you some questions and what you're looking for and that kind of thing. So,
Or if you know someone who is.
yeah, so
If you or someone
coaching,
you know.
consulting, worked with somebody this week and immediately got them a week-long booking.
Yay! That was so exciting.
Which is always fun.
That was so exciting. Good job, man.
Yeah, it happens a
Nice.
lot actually.
It
So-
does. It does. We get that a lot.
And if you've got design things, Wendy's your girl. So she can help you out with that for sure.
I got you.
And we're just kind of a team. So get on call with us. Definitely reach out via text. Or if you just want to text us, you can text us on that number too. We do get those and we'll answer
They
them.
go straight to our phones.
Sure do.
And I don't even know where my phone is. I didn't bring it in here. I haven't seen it in a while. There's a cat on the printer. Oh, you're everywhere.
Do we have an 800 number? We do, actually.
Yes, we do.
We do. I'm not sure that's an actual true statement that you have to have an 800 number, because I have business credit and they never asked for that number, right? So it's a good thing to have. I think it is a good thing to have.
I agree.
And we have that for the short-term rental side of the business. So it's on our literature. It's, hey, if you need help, call this number type stuff. And I think it does add a little, for whatever reason, I think it's silly, but it does add some credibility when you have an 800 number like that. So And you can get they're not that expensive to be, by the way. I
Ooh,
think
I forget who we got ours through.
we got ours through GoDaddy, actually.
GoDaddy, yeah.
The website people?
Yeah.
Exactly where we got it from.
Really? That's where we got the phone number too?
Mhm. Sure enough.
I didn't know they did phone numbers too.
They do. There's lots of places you can get them from.
There
I
you go.
just happened to be where I got mine because
Okay. GoDaddy.
it was easy to click and just get it. So I did.
Okay. It's not that expensive, I don't think. I mean,
No,
like
it's not.
a couple of bucks a month.
Yeah, it's nothing. And nobody ever calls it. So
And nobody ever calls it.
that keeps the expense down. So there's that.
It's like, where does it go? Is the question.
Right.
It probably goes to my phone.
Yeah. I almost feel like you don't. I mean, nobody pays for long distance anymore unless you're overseas or something, right?
Mhm.
So do you really need them practically? No. Do we have one? Yes, we do. We do.
I do think it's because it gives you an air of credibility.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what Michael and Jocelyn were asking about. Hey, is it good to have that Better Business Bureau tag? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's not hurting you. It shows that you didn't just start up yesterday, although you could have and
True.
gotten the same things, right?
True enough. All you gotta do is pay your money.
But I think it does show some, credibility and legitimacy, and hey, we're here to stay, and those types of feel good things.
I'm curious to know what the procedure is for becoming credited.
Ask Ryan; he probably knows.
That's true. Hey Ryan, what's the procedure for becoming accredited with the Better Business Bureau?
But I'm not going to wait for the answer.
No.
I'm going to use Giggle and figure it out, and it's going to give me a funny cat video.
or goats in pajamas jumping on trampolines.
Goats in pajamas jumping. Oh, he actually does not know the answer to that question.
Oh my.
Well, by the next time we talk to Ryan, he'll know all about it.
We will.
We found a hole in your knowledge, Ryan. All right, guys.
That's funny. That's a good time.
Yeah, I had a good time. Do you have anything else you want to say about the holidays before you left?
Make sure you take care of your people. Take care of your people.
Oh yeah, that is one thing that we do.
Yes.
Yes,
and it's usually around about the 15th of the month. I'll send them a little gift card.
No.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be anything big, but
big. It just shows that you appreciate them. It's just a little something, whatever you can do, and just the mere fact that you did something goes a long way.
Yeah,
long way.
And like anything in real estate or business, you're not doing it it's not me and Wendy.
No, I'm not going out there cleaning.
Right.
Crap.
So we've got a lot of people that help us. Not one set. We've got multiple sets of cleaners.
Yeah.
We've got multiple runners. We've got quality control people. We've got customer experience people that talk to guests when we don't want to. Right. And we really, truly do appreciate it.
We've got bookkeepers.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. Accountants.
Yep.
All these kind of things that you need as a business. But I think it's always a good time of the year to show appreciation.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, even if you can't give them something, write them a little note. Send them a Christmas card or a card. Just say, thank you for being a part of our team. We couldn't do it without you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just
even something as simple as that.
Just something very simple. But it's a really, really great thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is why Bill, believe me, man. This
That's so funny.
If it wasn't for Wendy, I'd be like, I forgot all about that. Right.
That's funny. Yeah, it is. And they will really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, there's one more. Ryan says, are your bookkeepers Profit First certified? No,
they are not.
I don't think that's important.
I don't think they are.
I don't think that's super important, to be honest with you. It depends on how you're going to be using your bookkeepers. Meaning Profit First, I'm just going to answer Ryan's question. No. Is it a bad idea to have one that is? Probably not. But we just don't use our bookkeepers that way. They tend to be more record keeping than advice. about those types of things. So it depends on what you're going to use them for. If you want that kind of service where like, hey, I need help with money management, which is what Profit First really is, beyond just keeping the books, then yeah, you probably want somebody that's familiar with it for sure and has those things. But for us, we use somebody else for that. You know, it's a different advisor. Right. But good question. Good question.
Yep. Good question.
Well, happy holidays.
Yay.
Text us if you want.
We'll be back next
we'll respond.
Wednesday.
We will be back next
We will
Wednesday.
be back next Wednesday. We will be here. So
we will.
Hopefully you can come back and see us again and bring a friend.
Well, if you got questions in the meantime, ask them in the group, ask them in the community.
Mm-hmm.
If you're actually watching this on YouTube or something, and you're not in the community,
yes.
It's the Cashflow Couple community on Facebook. The wording is going to say Short-Term Rental Authority Community, but the link is actually facebook.com/groups/the Cashflow Couple Community, I believe. And come in there, ask some questions, and we'll answer them either there on the spot, or we'll make you a little banner and put it up here and answer it live.
Yay!
Because sometimes it's like a lot of type, right? And I want to give you a better answer. So
awesome.
There you go.
Awesome. We love questions. We love questions and comments.
Yeah, makes it less boring.
Yes, it does.
All right, guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Hope to see you again next time. Thanks for coming.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Yay.
See you guys.